Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm glad to have you again on this series of cybersecurity analyst course. We are still looking at Python, and today we are in the Python series. We want to look at for loop and basically what a for loop is and how it can be used. It's particularly very important in cybersecurity also. So when we talk about for loop, we are looking at you want to iterate over a sequence. You want to I don't want the words to throw you, like you want to run, check over a long list. Imagine we have a list of names, a list of IP addresses, range of numbers. So you want to check through each of them. That can be a use case for loop, or you want to repeat a block of code for each time in the sequence. So for loop is interesting, and then I don't want to cram anything because we'll be doing this practically together so you can have an idea of how it works. So the sequence is simple for an item in a sequence. That's all. We'll take a very simple example. Let's create a file. So to do a nano to create a file, we want to put this inside a file so you can recall them easily and then use them also. So let's call it for underscore loop dot py in the Python file. When you have that, so inside here you can be able to write, and if we make a mistake, we can recall back to it, check it again, edit it. So if you have this screen, then we can move on. So moving on along now, what we need to do is we can just have a range of items. Let's call this suspicious. Oh, suspicious. Am I wrong? Suspicious. I think this is correct. Underscore IPs. So let's give a variable like this. Then yes, we'll do it like this. So we are checking a range of suspicious IPs. The first one we want to do is 192.168.1.100. So we'll still explain some of these IPs later, but you should understand that an IP is basically we have the public IP, the private IP. So this is more like a private IP. The IP is used for home network, like a printer, basic home networks to connect with each other. So we have 10.0.0.25. So this one is more also a private IP, but this is used in larger organizations. So always remember to write this your put on it. This the next one here is still a private IP, but this is used for medium-sized organizations. So we use 172.16.5.15. Then let's get some public IP examples. This is a public IP example, something like this: 202.0.112.45. Then we have, let me just give like two examples: 66.249.79.100 is also an example. Oh, I think there's a mistake. Okay, then we have 216 dot 58.210.174. Then you have this Then this is also a public address. This is the last example we'll give. This is 1.1.1.1. That's F1.1. So I think we have a sizable number now. Yes, so once we have this, you can just then, since we use the for, I think, well, let's get back to the beginning. Suspicious IPs, yes. So suspicious IPs is an example of suspicious IPs. So we can just press enter. Once you get to the end, just be sure you have the numbers written correctly. Once you get to the end, press enter. Yeah. So we have this. Now, if I want to get maybe an if statement, now I can say if, so I've indented, remember, if IP, and you can use anything, you can use X, you can use Y, you can use Z, whatever you want to use, but I want to use the word IP. If IP in this one is now suspicious IP, or let's not use that, let's just make it simple for now. Just say for IP, since we're doing the for IP in suspicious IP, please be mindful of the spellings. For IP, so here we can use X, we can use Y, anything. For IP suspicious IPs, but what should you do now? Just tell it to print IP straight away. Since this is a for loop, you have to put your semicolon here. Then remember you have to indent also. Always remember indentation. Then we come with print. So what am I printing? Just try to print the IP, and with this we come to the end. For now, this example, Control O, enter, Control X. So let me write my Python 3 for underscore loop. I believe you're doing the same thing with me. Py expected unexpected indent. Oh, line 2. So I have to check that. Nano line 2, line 1, line 2. Oh, unexpected indent. That's true. So I'm supposed to, this is unexpected. Let me remove this. So is this only what I will indent? Yes, so I'm starting this here, then I indent this one. So you can see why it's good to try out. Press enter, Ctrl X. Then let me go. So you press your arrow key up. Let it give you the Python for loop. So it has given you a list. It has given you a list of the IPs I wrote. These are all of the IPs I wrote down. I believe this is clear. These are all the IPs I wrote down. So the next thing we'll do now is we'll look at looping the break statement, for example, break statement. So if you want to break something, then remember I told you, let's go to nano back again. One, follow. Remember I told you we can use anything here. You can use IP, you can use X, you can use Y. So let me use X so that in case it doesn't confuse you. For X in, just make sure that this suspicious IP is correct. So for X in this suspicious IP, which is the list of these IPs, print, obviously, going to print X. Print X. So we can use anything, then Control O, press enter, Control X. So let me go with my Python 3 for loop. Press enter. You can see that it's giving you the answer too. So you can use anything. I just use IP. So let me go back to my code. I think we are done with this and it is to understand. So in case you want to break at some point, let's say we are doing it at 1, 2, 3. I want you to break at 203.0.111.113.45. If I want you to break at that point, I can use a break statement. And a break statement is very simple. I'll just tell it that when it gets to this point, break. That's all. So to make it easier, let me come to nano for loop, press enter. Then I'm still in my code here. So let's change this to IP. We want to use IP. Since you understand the logic behind it now, then this print change to IP. Oh, IP. Okay. Now we can decide to do a break statement. So say if IP is equal to, so let's know where we want to add that break. I think we said 203 dot. So we said 203.0.113.45. We want to have a break statement here. If this IP, if IP is equal to this, so we're trying to compare it, so it's not a variable now. We're trying to compare, so we have this double equals to, if this IP equals to this, then what should happen with semicolon, then press enter, then we indent it and say break. So it means it's running it, but when you get to this one, it should break. So I do my control O, say press enter, control X, then do Python 3 4 underscore loop dot py, press enter. So it says syntax error, break outside the loop. Also we made a syntax error, so we just go press the arrow key, go up nano for loop, then check. It's still inside the same loop. Let's indent this. If IP equals this, then we can now indent break. So let's see how this works. For IP, print IP. Yes, so this if is still inside this for statement, so we can decide to indent it, then we indent this break. So let's see how this works. Press enter, control X, Python 3. Yes, it worked. So when it got to 203.0.113.45, it stopped. So let me go back there. Note that when you are doing your indentation, you can decide to do a, like what I did now. I just did a simple, so you can do 4 spaces if you want, or use a tab. So I use a tab. So my tab is carrying it a whole lot. So you can decide to use 4 spaces. It depends on you. So I think the way my tab carries is, if you look at this now, and you go like this, when I tab, just carries it like that. So if that's too much for you, you can depend on your tab. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Work. This one, 2. Aha. 1, 2, 3, 4. So something like that. I think that will work also. Then this break from here now. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's under here, so we can indent it to the inside. So this will also work. So you can see for IP, so just IP, print IP. Then if it gets to this particular place, break. So Control S, Control O, enter Control X, then Python. Let me see, it worked. So we can see that we got the indentation right. So you can use four spaces or use a tab, depends on you. Now we want to do a continuous statement. So we do go up with the arrow key nano. So in this place for break, let's use the word continue. Instead of break, just use the word continue. Then we have continue. So if you just skip that one, Control O, enter Control X, Python. If you skip this one and continue the rest, you can see after 2 or 3, skip the next. So let's see the real list. From the real list, we need to look at the real, basically what we take today, and then on our for loop. In the next class, we'll look at functions. Thank you for joining this class and join me in the next class.